orphanages show up, and there's one orphanage from Hino, and they don't get government support. But you know what? They have about 17 kids, and it's a husband and a wife, and they have one volunteer. And so far, our group is the only group to show up to help them. But you know what? There is so much love in that orphanage. These kids, you can't even, it's like one family. They're happy. And I've been to many orphanages in Tijuana, and most of them are not, sadly, are not like that. But this one is. But this new orphanage group that we invited to come out, a lot of these parents are drug addicts and can't take care of their kids, or they've been arrested through the drug cartel, and the kids have nowhere to go, so they end up in orphanage homes. These kids showed up, and I was communicating with them. People were communicating with them, and it was like they couldn't hear. They're just so whacked. I just feel so bad for them. But before they spent all day with us, and before it was over, you've seen a lot of them. The lights come on and the interaction. And I was with this one volunteer named Thomas, and he was in charge of this little young boy, and the boy handed Thomas his jacket and said, "Can you hold this, Papa?" And Thomas told me, and you see, this is where I'm smart, and this is where I'm good at. If I can get everyday, ordinary people to show up and do some of these simple things, it will change their life. This little boy handed this volunteer his jacket and said, hold it, in Spanish, said, "Hold this, Papa." And he said his whole life came to a complete stop. He said it cracked his face. And it just changed his whole outlook on life. This young guy ain't got no kid.
Right.
But, and I don't know what was running through his head, but for this little sweet, innocent little angel to hand a jacket to you and say, "Hold this, Papa."
It gave him some purpose.
It gave him purpose. And, you know, I helped the kid. And, a lot of these events help us volunteers more than it helps the kids. Yeah.
Right. Hey, Chris? Chris, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Our video, our stream froze there for a second, just in case if you were watching it on your phone, you have to refresh that browser a little bit. But I don't know if you can see these videos, but do you hear what Johnny's doing? Isn't this incredible, man?
It's fantastic. It's like you said. If you think you're having a bad day here, your worst day is probably still far and above their best day ever.
Yep.
It's sad. I mean, unfortunately, so many people are keyboard warriors. I'm sure you all have heard that term before. There's a lot of people out there that are willing to like and to share things and whatnot, but to actually get up off of their dead ass and go actually do something about a problem is I am finding exceedingly rare.
Exactly.
It's kind of sad that people say all the time, well, somebody needs to do something. Well, last time I checked, you were somebody, so why aren't you doing anything?
Yep. Exactly.
Even small stuff, start small. You do something small. You never know what the ripple effect has. You just can't rely on the government, and you can't rely on these big organizations to help you, because we're the people, and that's where it's going to start. I'm not the 1% either.
That's the fact.
No,
Jack.
and you're exactly right. The other thing, one point that I always bring up, regardless of what show I'm on or where I get brought into, is the advocating side for pit bulls. It's great that people advocate, but unfortunately, people advocate in the wrong ways. I'm sure you guys know DBO. And all of the wonderful nut jobs that they have there. I preach about this probably once every other month on our Facebook page. Those people are out there specifically trying to do one thing, and that's to get the pit bull advocates to look crazy. And they're good at their job.
Right.
They're fantastic at their job. I give Colleen and all of her crew, Jeff and all of those people, I give them credit for that, because most people argue with emotion, and you can't do that. You absolutely can't do that. You can't argue with emotion, because as soon as you do, you've lost. And that's one thing that I'm able to do. I'm able to turn off the emotion to it. I love my dogs. And I love dogs in general. But for one, people go out, and if you look at the comments that happen on different posts, whether it be on a news site or whether it be on Facebook or wherever, you go through and read the comments and just sit objectively. Don't even read the article. Just see that it's an article that's, not favoring pit bulls, which is pretty common to find.
Correct.
Find that article. Don't read the article so you have no idea what it is that they're talking about, and just go read through the comments and see how awful pit bull advocates, who their heart is in the right place, but their mind certainly isn't. See some of the nasty things that they say.
That's right.
And all
that's not just pit bull people. That's not just pit bull people.
Yes,
That's,
it is. Yes, it is.
That's a lot of rescue people.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of rescue
people.
people.
It is.
Right.
Across the board, there are a lot of people that say some pretty awful things. I mean, and that's why on our end, we had aspirations when we were starting that we thought about possibly moving into rescue, and we're relatively young. Like I said, last year was the first year that we ever. The first full year that we were actually a group. So we're babies in the world of animal advocacy, at least professionally.
Right.
And what I have learned over the past year is that I want absolutely nothing to do with rescue, because there are some crazy-ass people in rescue that are
That's right.
Awful. They are awful, awful people.
That's
it's
right.
more about their ego than it is about the dogs.
Well, we've preached that many times on this show, man. And
I can't deal.
You know what? I do rescue. My rescue is called Birdhouse Doghouse Rescue Foundation, and what Operation Love Mary Lee and Operation Thank You Elaine, and I have some others. What I do is, and I've learned that lesson about how evil some people can be, is that, those people you just got to learn to ignore, and you got to go where the love is. There's a lot of rescue people out there that are good-hearted, and they kind of stay away from everybody else. So what I've learned to do is to look for the people that are going to support you and lift you up and love you, and to work as a team. And those are the people that I seek out. And there's a lot of ego and fighting. There was some even in Tijuana this weekend. I wasn't involved, but they're out there, and but you don't need all of them. You really don't need every group. I mean, you just need, a few that will work together and help support and love you, and that's what I do. Is I go where the love is, and I don't even know who some of these other groups are. It's just not my world.
Right.
Absolutely, and that's the reason that, like, when we started Bikers, the reason that we started it was we understood the discrimination, and we don't like the discrimination that we get. So. And it's definitely not deserved. I mean, I personally have donated thousands of dollars to shelters and other groups and things like that. I've pulled dogs off the side of the road and taken them to a vet to get them checked over and found them homes and things like that. That's not what you would classify as typical biker behavior, but that's the way that I operate nonetheless. But and this is the thing that some people, some self-righteous people, have their opinions that, well, because I don't cross-post on Bikers, because that's not what we're about, I have gotten a mountain of shit for that over the past year, that I don't cross-post. Rescue is not where our strong point is. We have done that research. We have done all of the mountains and mountains of data, looked that all over, and we know a different way to approach how to, overturn those laws in these areas. We don't necessarily think the same that everybody else does.
And you know what? A lot of these rescue groups try to force you to behave the way they behave. And you know what? There are so many other pieces of the puzzle, and to learn to think outside the box like you're doing is, it's like a war, and you got to come at it at different angles. And what you're saying to me, what you're saying to me right now reminds me of somebody. Who is that, Foster? Do you hear what he's saying? I have a very good friend that says the same thing, and he's been saying the same thing for years. You know who that is, Foster? Now listen to what he...
Peter Piper?
No.
Peter Parker?
No.
Batman?
No. He is a superhero, but he's a lot shorter.
Oh, Mickey Rooney. Shorty.
Shorty.
Oh, there you go. I knew that.
Shorty from the Pit Boss is doing the same thing that you're doing, and he's saying the same thing that you're saying. So you're not alone. And if people are complaining, that means you're doing the right thing.
Shorty's like...
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, we've brushed those people off, and here's the thing. Everybody has their strong suit. Everybody does. There are people that are fantastic at cross-posting, and they get results. And there are people that are great at rescue, and they get results. And then there are people that can argue against city councils when nobody else will, that can make a difference. And that's where we come in, because I can make those arguments at a city council meeting without any emotion to it. So I don't get flustered when they try to shut me down with anti-pit bull propaganda, because I don't care. I know what I know, and what I know is correct because I have facts that back me up. And I can put those facts out there in a way that everybody can understand. What I'm doing is funneling all of that information from the American Bar Association, from the ASPCA, from Best Friends, from the ABMA, all of those places. I dilute it down to a point where the average person doesn't have to read the 75-page report that I did. I can give them those nuggets of information, and blasting out what most people, where most people get their anti-pit bull data from, i.e. Merritt Clifton and Colleen Lynn and the CBO site, that's easy to combat because there's nothing there. But unfortunately, most people look at that and they immediately get mad. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Merritt just said that pit bull attacks are up 773%. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Come on. But unfortunately, the spoon-fed public hears that because it came from a news organization or what they think is a news organization, and they believe it. So the best way to combat that is to do it sensibly. And I give this example to people when they say that they don't understand. If you were talking to another person and that other person was arguing with you about a particular point, we'll say whether or not the meatball sub at Subway is the best sub that they have. Now, you don't necessarily feel that the meatball sub is the best sub that they have. You happen to like the Italian one. But this person that you're talking to loves that meatball sub. And then he starts screaming at you and calling you names and threatening to do bodily harm to you.
I know that one.
Are you going to listen to anything he has to say about that meatball sub? That meatball sub may be the best goddamn sub that Subway has. You've never tried it. But you've heard from other people that meatball sub is terrible, and it's awful, and it's dangerous.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you're there. I'm glad you're there because I'm the king of fluster.
Hey guys, we got another caller on the line that's joining this conversation. Hello, who's on the line?
This is Judy calling in.
Hey, Judy, how are you?
Hi, Judy.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Johnny.
Hi.
And we have Chris in Chicago from Bikers Against BSL and Regina on all part of the conversation. So thank you for for joining. Judy, what city are you in?
Well, I'm currently working in San Diego, but I'm from Mexico.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm from Chicago. And I'm glad to be from Chicago because it's cold. So,
Right.
so Judy, join the conversation. What's on your mind?
Well, I was listening to the gentleman talk about what he does in order to help the cause, and something that struck my attention was when he was talking about how the pit bulls were up, fights up 700% or whatever, and how people listen to the media hype and they bite into it. And I've experienced that living in Mexico for the last 6 years. Everybody is, oh, it's dangerous down there. You shouldn't go down there. You're going to get killed. You're going to get kidnapped. And
That's
that is
right.
so far from the truth. And, like I said, I've been living there 6 years. And, my experience down there is that it's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful culture. People take their kids to school in the morning. They pick them up after school. They live just like we live here.
And, sorry to interrupt you, Judy, but you know what? I am the king of fluster, and this is what pisses me off. You know what? I've gone down these operations for the last 2 years, and I've been stopped by cops many, many, many times. And not one of them has tried to steal my money. Out of all, they know me and they know my car.
Well, you wait till you go down there with me.
And you saw my last cop post, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, but you know what? We go street by street. We feed these dogs, and we go in some really bad neighborhoods. And I'll pull over, and I'll be, you see a dog, you got to stop the car real fast, and you got to get them food before they run off. Mm-hmm. Especially on trash night, because they come out and eat the trash. You can see these dogs eating plastic and stuff. So I pulled over real fast, and I was putting some dog food, and this cop stops, and he says, "Do you need any help?" And that has been my experience. And you don't get that here in the United States.
No.
And I was up in the tourist area, and this fight broke out. And within 45 seconds, I saw at least 7 cops. Within 2 minutes, the federal police were there, and there were 45 units there. 45. They were going to, and I thought, oh my God. You'd never see this in LA. Mm-hmm. And my last experience this weekend was, after both events, I went out to a nightclub. I have a couple of my volunteers, they're entertainers, so I went out to a club in the red light district. And it is a known drug and drunk area. And as I was leaving one club, I went to the other club, and I went to find my car, and I parked in a parking structure, so I kind of got a little lost. And the cop pulls up and asked me to put my hands on the hood. So I put my hands on the hood, and they asked me if I've been drinking or if I have any drugs on me. And I did have a pocket full of money, which I know better, right?
And a shoe full of drugs?
You know what? But I've been clean and sober for 5 years. And I put my money, and
that's good, Johnny.
And I put my credit cards up on the hood. And they said, "What are you doing in Tijuana?" And I explained the orphanage. I explained the dog rescue. And they didn't seem to be believing me. So they kept looking for the drugs. And I said, you know what? I have proof. It's on my phone. So I pulled out the phone, and they started looking through my pictures, which the first picture popped up
was a naked guy.
Was a shirtless guy.
Yes.
The cop looked at me and he said, "Oh, yeah, right." I said, "No, really, keep looking." So then, he started scrolling, and then he saw the event down at the fire station, which you were at, and then he saw a picture of me and Shorty from Pit Boss, and he goes, "Oh, that's the guy from the Pit Bulls." And I said, "Yeah." You know what? And they let me have my money back, and they put my stuff, and they say, "We appreciate what you're doing," and they let me go. So I went to go to the car lot to get my car, and I think I dropped my parking ticket, and I was looking for the parking ticket. It's a $5 charge, and so the cops came back, and they put the light, and they said, "Come back here," and I thought, "Oh shit, now what?" And then he went over there, and they said, "You know what? As we pulled away, we couldn't help but notice you left your credit card on the hood."
Wow.
So they gave me my credit card, and I said, "Hey, do you think you could talk to them? Because I think I dropped my parking ticket, when I was talking to you." And he said, "Yeah." So he went over to talk to the parking attendant, and I started walking back from my car, and I heard the cop say, you know what? Just take care of the guy. He's a really good guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? This perceived image about what's going on in Mexico. I'm sure it happened somewhere.
That's right.
In some part. But you know what? Tijuana is a beautiful city. It's got a beautiful beach, and it's full of beautiful people.
Yeah.
And
well, I tell you, man, you know, that 5 years clean and sober is like
it helps.
That's something that's something to salute, you know, because I mean, shoot, I think Rock and I, it's been like 5 days, you know.
5 minutes.
Well, Rock said like, well, we had a commercial break, so.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Judy, but I thought I'd get my 2 cents in.
No, and it's just a big, you know, it's amazing what the media can do and the pull that it has, and you know. I think that, you know, everybody working together and everybody bringing, you know, like the gentleman said, I'm sorry I didn't get your name.
Chris.
Chris. It's like Chris said, you know, there's people that do the rescue and there's people that do the like and the shares and the marketing, and then there's people that can stand, you know, before the council and do their thing, and that's, you know, I think what we need to do is band, you know, people together in groups that each one has this type of you know, something to offer, you know, someone that can do education. And when we're able to do that, then we become much stronger in our goals and what we're trying to accomplish.
That's right.
Because everybody, you know, it's a piece of the pie, and it becomes a full pie.
Judy, you hit it right on the head, man. Everybody, I'm still trying to find out what I do, but, you know, it's like, that's why I just go ahead and support everybody. You know, but I want to ask you guys about the, well, right before you got some more dogs there, Regina? Uh-oh. I think she said yeah?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Then we wanna put some more dogs out there to be adopted. But before that, Rocco, you ready to do some dogs? Okay, when we come back from that, I want to ask you guys about petitions and how effective they are to you and how you feel about them, because Cheryl and Regina and kind of sort of Paula are talking about starting a petition, man, to try to get some Hollywood action going here. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes after we come back. And
Can you hold, Judy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back, and we'll do some dogs. Rock and Regina, you got it.
All right. Where's she going? I think she said we're going to commercial.
Oh, no. No, there she is.
All right. We're doing dogs. There you go.
Okay,
Ready.
All right. All right. Dogs are all animal California.
I can't hear you.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. These next set of dogs are all at All Animal Rescue in California. They're all in foster and in need of homes. The first dog is Marley. We had her on a few weeks ago. She's a real cutie. She's about 4 years old, and she was rescued from a high-kill shelter at San Bernardino. And she was very sick when they rescued her. She's recovered now, and she's ready for a great home. She's very sweet, loyal, and eager to please. The next dog is Dozer. He's about 4 years old. He's a lab pit mix. His owner passed away, and he ended up at the deadly San Bernardino shelter. And he's a volunteer favorite. He loves to play. He's awesome, very happy and friendly, and he behaves himself very nicely around other dogs. He also takes treats very gently, and he's ready for a special family to take him home. Marcy is a beautiful 1 year, 9-month-old pit bull mix. She's in need of a forever home. She needs to be the only fur baby in the house because she's fabulous with humans, but not so much with other animals. And she's very sweet, though, otherwise, and looking for her home. The next dog is Reed. Meet Reed, he was rescued again from a high kill shelter. He's approximately 3 years old. He was also a staff favorite, and they fought very, very hard to get him out. Now he's available for adoption through the All Animal Rescue. And he loves people, especially ones that give him massages right behind the ears. He's very energetic, and he would love to be part of an active household. This next dog is real sweet. He's very cute, Beamer. His name is Beamer, and he's black and white, like a domino. He's a 1-year-old male pit bull. He's in Southern California. He's neutered and up to date on all his shots. He's got beautiful blue eyes, and he would look like also a high-energy human that would love to run and take him out on hikes and long walks. He's very good with other children. With other dogs and children. And he's okay with cats if he's properly introduced. The next dog is Daniel. He's fully vetted, and he's a very sweet boy, and he's got plenty of love to give. The next dog is Ace. Wish I had a better picture of Ace, but he's real cute. You could tell by his little body. He's just got a real cute little body. He's one happy doggy, and he's currently headed to his fantastic foster, but he definitely is looking for his forever home. If you're interested in any of these dogs, please contact All Animal Rescue, and the email is smwilson@me.com, or you can go to their website, allanimalrescue.org. Thank you.
Oh, well, all right. Hey, and all right, I just wanted to send out a shout to my brother Walter, who is the black sheep of the black family. Huh? Yeah, he's the white sheep of the black family. He is having surgery right about now. He's going under the knife at 9 o'clock. Dropped him off at the hospital this morning. So, night. See you later. So, anyway. All right, so let's...
And before we get to the petition part, I know Judy's at work right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Judy was at our Operation Thank You Elaine event on Saturday at the museum. So, are you still there, Judy?
I am.
Do you want to tell us about your version of it?
My version of it. Let me just say, a year ago, I slowly started actually getting into rescue. I had animals all my life, but never did anything, about the situation and the problem. And because of an event that happened in my life, which is a whole other story, I started working with a local rescue in the Tijuana, San Diego area. And somebody had posted Johnny Ray's video of him down in Guadalajara on my page and said, hey, check this out. And that's when I reached out to Johnny Ray. And had I known then, what I was getting myself into, I definitely would do it all over again. It's been an incredible year being involved with Johnny Ray and the Operation Love Mary Lee and all the hundreds of people and animals that we've helped. And Saturday being one of the most amazing things that I've ever done. These kids at this orphanage, I want to take them all home. That's just, they're loving, they're friendly. They don't speak English, none of them, but we're able to communicate them just by sheer love.
And sometimes I forget that because you feel the love and everything is just perfect, and then at the end of the day sometimes I remember, oh my God, they don't understand anything I'm saying.
Right. And for me, there's a little 18-month-old girl who came there right around, the Christmas party time, when we had a Christmas party for these kids. She came there right around that time, so she's kind of new to the orphanage. She never smiles. She won't smile. She always has this very somber look about her. And, that was the little girl that I took charge of that day. And, we took her over to where they make the bubbles. There was these bubble machines, and my friend and I were playing with her with these bubbles, and she started smiling and laughing and was having so much fun and joy with these bubbles. And it was just so heartwarming because I knew that this little girl didn't smile hardly ever. And to be able to help her have some joy and make her smile, it was just an amazing feeling for me. And you know, the one thing about this orphanage, from the day that we showed up there, I guess it was last summer, right, Johnny? You know, they said to us, "This is your house too. Come anytime." And any time that I've ever gone by there or stopped by there, you know, I get 15 children just coming up and giving me hugs and telling me, "We love you, I love you," and you know, you can't buy that. You can't buy that. And I just wish that I could do more. I wish that I could, do more than what I do. It's not enough. It would never be enough, until these kids can,
Yeah, I remember that little girl when she first came into the orphanage, and she cried for the first 2 weeks, and her mom is addicted to drugs, and the child was dumped, and it's the most heartbreaking. And that's why we've stayed with that orphanage, because they're honest, they're open, they're transparent, and they're loving. And we can't, anybody can stop by that orphanage at any time. And that was your moment. I don't know if you were on earlier when I was telling them about Thomas's moment. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yes, I did hear
that. And my moment was when Barron, I can't even say his name, Johnny Jr. Johnny Jr.
Johnny Jr. Right.
We're in a room, and there was over 100 people there, and somebody was holding this little Mexican boy, and he was yelling he wanted Johnny. So then he started yelling Johnny, so everybody in the room started looking for Johnny, and the little boy wanted to come to me. And it is heartwarming, and my passion is dogs, but, a child is a human being, and it's what we do in Mexico is life-changing. It really has. It has completely changed my life.
All right.
And mine as well.
Well, all right. So let me get some feedback on Chris.
Yes, sir.
What do you know about, and what do you feel about petitions, man?
Well, I kind of take Gordon Shell's view a little bit on petitions. I have not found personally that petitions do much of any good. There's a community that I'm working with right now that I'm right on the Iowa border. I'm on the opposite side of the state from Chicago. So I'm right on the Iowa border, Iowa and Illinois border. And Iowa has absolutely atrocious animal laws and whatnot. They're what I saw. There was a thing that came out that said the #1 state all the way down to 50th for animal rights. Illinois, luckily, was #1 again for 2014 for animal rights. So that's about the one thing that our local legislature gets right. But Iowa was 49th. Mm-hmm. There are BSL, different kinds of BSL all throughout the state. So that's where we're primarily working. There's a local community that has had BSL since the mid-'80s when a lot of cities enacted them. And there was a petition that went around to get the BSL taken off. That's something else that I would like to touch on when we get further into it here. But the petition went in, and it did absolutely no good. The city council didn't care. I have found personally more that it's great for people thinking that they want to get involved, but at the end of the day, I've not personally seen petitions do a whole lot of good. they make people feel good, but
Right.
I've not seen any real change happen as a result.
Okay, that makes sense. What about you, Judy?
I sign them because, yes, it does make me feel good. But are they doing anything? That I don't know. I really.
Okay.
Have any of the ones you signed done anything?
Well, I you know what? I hate to say it, but I really don't follow up on too much of it. Some of them do send you follow-up emails and let you know that stuff has changed.
Yeah.
So maybe on some instances they do work, but as a whole, I think it's more about just making people feel good and showing people the wide range of like people that sign in California and sign in Mexico and sign in Germany. I mean, it shows, I guess, more of a united front.
Right. Well, let
But
me.
do they actually do anything in the legislature? I don't know how far these petitions go.
Right.
I've never researched that.
Exactly.
Do they just end at being put on someone's desk? Or is somebody pushing them through? Are they following up? Are they talking to their congressmen? Like, that part I don't know. So
Right. Well, let me ask you guys this, because the petition that Cheryl and Regina and Paula, are you guys familiar with Breeder X?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we haven't talked about that, which is really strange for me. Because we've been on the air for 2.5 hours and I haven't mentioned Breeder X once. Shame on me. But, you guys recently saw the whole backlash, which is something that I wanted to start talking about too at the top of the show, with GoDaddy and the GoDaddy ad for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what got that ad pulled was a petition that started, and 40,000 people signed that petition. And the next thing you know, that had made news, and it became this worldwide thing. And GoDaddy pulled it, because it was that puppy mill thing. So, with that, I had been looking at the possibilities of turning these guys loose on this petition. And let me read this petition to you that's potentially, it's for the John Langford, the CEO of the FX Network and FX Production. Is Dear Mr. Langford, Landgraf actually is his name. As head of the FX Network, you have chosen to use the slogan, FX Fearless. We, the undersigned, concerned television viewers and animal lovers, petition you to seriously consider picking up the new show for your network titled Breeder X. We want to see this project on our televisions for the purpose of educating the masses who are not currently aware of the abuse and the inhumanities to animals going on around the world right under our noses. There's never been a show like Breeder X, not just another cop show, hospital show, or law drama. Breeder X is the next wave. This project, Breeder X, is the culmination of the best the animal world and Hollywood has to offer. To view it, go to da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so that's the petition, and we're going to put it out there for everybody to look at on Facebook, is help us ask Hollywood to program the first drama series with the animal abuse undertone. What do you guys think about that?
You said the best. It's probably the best and the worst, actually.
Yeah. So, but do you think we're standing kind of chance? Is that something that people could get behind, or?
Honestly, yes, because there's two different styles of petition. The one that you're talking about right there for Breeder X is relatively similar to the one for GoDaddy. Now, those type of petitions do tend to make some kind of difference. Mm-hmm. It's when you're talking about the local legislation that it doesn't. The thing that I've heard over and over again not just from petitions that were done here locally, but across the country, is when it comes down and it's put down in front of the local legislation, they look at it and go, well, that's great that 40,000 people signed this, but none of them live in my community.
Right.
And those are the ones that fall flat, the ones that have to do with specific location legislation. What you're talking about is different entirely. When it's a project like that, those do tend to have more clout, I guess, to them than the ones that are local legislation. So as far as that one goes, I'll put it up there.
Okay.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
That's right. Well, that's my concern. See, because the thinking is this, and because and I have to say Cheryl and Regina and Paula really moved it forward, because me, I'm just a creative, man. I don't know much of Jack, and I hate asking people for anything. I think I just I just deal with the if you build it, they will come kind of a concept, But the thing is, what I do like about it is, Hollywood responds to one thing. All of these networks, viewership. They don't give a damn about the ethnic group. They don't care if it's a black issue, white issue, gay issue, southern issue, city issue, whatever have you. They go on viewership. So, the animal community at large, we are viewers. This is a way for me to allow, what we were just talking about, all of those egos and all of that infighting and all of this stuff. I don't care if you're a rescue, if you're a Doberman shelter, if you're a horse rescue, or a dolphin, or whales, or birds, or whatever. The one thing that we all have in common is abuse. Is abuse of these animals, just like what you do in Mexico, Johnny. The animals are being abused. It's not intentional. It's just the culture and the way that the government and city and what have you is set up. They don't deal with them. So, there you go, sir. So my thinking is, if we can get the networks to recognize that there's 74 million dog owners in the United States, and we as a group, we represent a block of viewers, because on the cable networks, they consider, if they have 1 million viewers, 2 million viewers, that's a big smash hit for them. And just like GoDaddy got 40,000 people to respond, if we got the people to turn out in masses and everybody say, hey, we want to see this, we can educate, just like, how many people know law terms now, or medical terms about, double bypass, triple tracheostomy, and, I object to that, Your Honor. All from watching TV shows, right? They don't know nothing. Okay, Rock is signaling me. We have another caller to join in on this. Let me see.
Richard.
Who's calling?
Richard.
Uh-oh, I think we lost Judy. Hello?
Hello?
Richard?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Foster. How are you?
Good. This is Richard Jennings joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Did I see something about you having vehicle trouble? Richard's on the road out there crossing America. Where you at today, buddy?
I'm right at the border of Florida and Georgia. Yeah, I had an air conditioner system that went plugged on me and locked up and got me in my belt, so I'm kind of stranded here until they get the part in. But they're working on it now. But the reason I was calling in, Foster, because the gentleman, Chris, I believe his name is, made a good point a while ago about a lot of these legislators don't, they go, well, it's not in my area or whatever. But you can, you can narrow those petitions down where they do work, and they have helped a lot. And a recent case in point was down, I believe it was Alabama, and I'm not in front of my computer where I can pull that, but there was a little community down there. I think it was Monroeville, Alabama.
That was Louisiana.
Was it Louisiana?
That was Louisiana. That was Monroeville, Louisiana. Yep.
Okay, they were going to enact BSL. In fact, they did enact it. They sent a letter out to all the community, and the petition started getting signed and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, they rescinded that BSL. So, they do work in some cases, maybe not all cases, but, if you're at your wit's end and you're trying to save dogs' lives, I say try anything. You've got to try anything, and if it works one time, great. If it works 100 times, even better. If it works every time, fantastic. But in this case, it worked one time. It saved a family dog that was also a therapy dog for that little girl, and did a wonderful, wonderful thing to save that from happening. So I was very pleased to see that. So it does work.
And I want to too. We're gonna bring that subject back up, Richard. If you guys can call in on the Friday show, because Fred Cray has a lot of updated information on that situation and a whole bunch of other stuff, that I think would be really interesting to know. But Richard, did you hear what I read about part of this particular petition?
Yes, I did, and I like what you're saying there. But I think with your petition, we need to get maybe some. You got Pitbull Energy drink that's already backing it already. You need maybe get some other restaurants or dog-friendly stores. We have a lot of dog-friendly stores. We just posted a thing about 15 different dog-friendly stores. Tractor Supply, of course, PetSmart and all them. But maybe get them behind the show, and then you have advertisers that can book on this show, and you can take that to FX, and FX will look at it and go, wait a minute, they've already got backers to some degree that will help advertise their product on the show because it'll be, a national show.
I think that's a great idea, but if you can come in with a sponsor, always that's good. But the viewers, at the end of the day, see, because to me, the animal community, the dog community, and I'm speaking because this is Foster's Animal World, I'm speaking bigger than the pit bulls, in which we know have a problem, and the dogs and cats, but the animal activists as a whole. There has yet to be a opportunity for everyone to move as one, to put their power behind one issue to actually get something done. And then if we could all see the strength in numbers that we have to actually get one thing going, then maybe people would kind of wake up and see how to use the power that we have in numbers, because all the politicians, they all respect numbers. They all respect voting blocks. Just like the networks, Hollywood respects viewership. So that's the thinking behind going this way. If we can show that there's 100,000, 200,000, whatever, 10,000, whatever we can get, people to just say, hey, it doesn't cost any money, and I'd like to see a show that's entertaining yet can educate the public at the same time to some of this animal abuse. I think that could be effective. That's my thinking, as opposed to sponsored.
And you're right, and I do believe you add that other element we talked about, I think 2 weeks ago on your show that I didn't know, and I like redirects. I've watched it several times. We have little parties, people come and watch it, we get them involved in everything else. But if we could do something like letting people know that these are based on actual, police files or
yes.
So they know that these are actual legitimate files. They're not just made up in somebody's head.
You know what? That's a good thing. I think we'll add that into the wording on the petition, so that, because it is very much like the way that I tried to create it was like Law and Order and CSI. Those shows that actually have they're all true stories were taken from the court files. Yeah, that's a good point, Richard. Very good point. Really.
Well, and also on top of that, a petition's really good. And if you do get all these people to sign, and the station goes and looks at your YouTube station, so not only does people need to sign the petition, you need to go to Foster Animals World YouTube channel and watch it. Mm-hmm. Because they are watching how many views that this thing gets.
Right.
So no matter how many petitions, how many people sign it, and it's got 10 views, they're not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. I know it's got thousands, but it is important that people actually go to the page and watch it.
Right. And with that, see, the whole thing is, you're right, Johnny, but what I'm trying to sell is is really the whole brand, as opposed to that one particular show. Just the fact that we have, and I didn't read more of the petition, but what we do is we go into showing that the following that we have in the 49 different countries or 50 countries in all of the shows, and what we are doing is unique, and and the other thing is, if we get enough people to sign a petition, I'll get a meeting, and we can, and I'm 100% on meetings in Hollywood with executives where they can write a check. I've always come away with those deals. The whole thing is getting in to make them pay attention. So that's my thinking, because I can explain that really simply as fact that I haven't had promotion money, I mean, with the show from one of these cable networks, what they do is they spend a couple of $1 million promoting a show that's going to premiere for 2 or 3 months, before that show actually hits. And looking at the numbers that they get, I mean, it's a slam dunk. I mean, to be honest with you, just having any promotional money, I mean, if we had, $5,000 to promote Breeder X, I mean, I think I spent $5 promoting it, and that's because I have no budget, So the fact that it's been pretty much a word of mouth thing, and even more than the views, it's the comments. If you look at all of the comments that people have said about the show who viewed it, that I think is only one negative thing. And you know how the web is, people love to hate you, right? They love to hate you on the web. So what is that?
It's Shorty. I guess got the wrong number. Hold on, Shorty.
Oh, we got the pit boss himself on the line chiming in here. That would be Shorty Rossi. Is he there, Johnny?
He is there.
How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm in the middle of something wet.
Uh-oh. Well, what's her name?
Why am I not surprised?
What's her name, Shorty?
I'm at the bank, you idiot. You have me on the radio?
Is that an American bank or a Mexican bank?
A Mexican bank.
Yeah, I don't know if you were
like some people right now.
Oh, I thought you said you were in the middle of something wet.
Oh, you freaks.
Oh, no, you guys.
I'm sorry.
I thought you had to talk to me real quick. I said to take out my special precious time to talk to you for a minute, but no.
Apparently you weren't listening, but we were going over how safe Mexico really was, and Judy was on the line, and so that's why I was asking if you were in a Mexican bank.
Oh, it was real safe until they allowed Johnny in the neighborhood.
We
had to hide all your boys. Never mind.
Right. Yeah, well, he told us about the police and the picture of the guy with no shirt on.
Yeah, that was real intelligent, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, thank God that's all that was on there.
Thanks for having my photo in your phone, too. That's scary.
Oh, wait a minute. He didn't tell us it was like Shorty with his shirt off.
Yeah, in your dreams.
Well, hey, brother, look, wait. We'll appreciate the call in, but if you're in the bank, go ahead and count that money, man.
Yeah.
I'm making a deposit, but I'll call you guys later. I got to get going.
All right, sir.
Thank you, Shorty.
Y'all take care. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah.
It's probably breaking in the bank like he breaks out pit bulls out of people's cars.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the theory on the petition. So I'm gonna be asking all of the viewers and listeners and fans of the show that we'll push this puppy up there, man. And there hasn't been anything. I mean, again, the reason that I started this show and Conversations with a Pit Bull is because it's my true belief that the power is in the media. Hollywood exports its product all over the world, and brainwashes people all over the world. And why not use it to our advantage to, brainwash people into understanding the realities and serving our needs as opposed to being consumers. Let's be hypnotists. What was it? I had a thought, and I'm sorry, I'm old, so I forget. Oh God, Richard, I'm older than you. So
barely.
But so bottom line is, if we can come up with something. Oh, I know what it was. It was the fact that as you were saying, Chris, earlier about, because I've owned pit bulls for 37 years, man, and I saw the image of them change to the negative. I knew when pit bulls were the estate dogs, when pit bulls were the nanny dogs.
The nanny dogs.
Yeah, when they were like, this is the dog to have if you want real loyalty to your family and all of this stuff. The image of pit bulls got tainted and got changed by the media, by
absolutely,
the news media. It's like, if it bleeds, it leads. Another pit bull attack today, and da-da-da. So I say, why not use the ammunition that they're using against us back on them? Come up with something that, just like this show, I don't know if we've done any good over the last 2 years with, my feeble attempts to educate people, but the one thing that we've done is we've started the conversation amongst people. We've shared information. People have learned about other people around the world and different things, and people have learned about what people are doing, and we've connected a lot of different people. So it's my firm belief that it's all about the media, man. We got to fight the media with the media. So
well, the other thing that needs to happen is we need to find a way to completely and totally discredit, not that it hasn't already been done, but it's not been effective, but discredit Merritt Clifton and discredit Colleen. Because when you watch any of the news stories or you read any of the articles that are written about pit bull attacks here, or, hold on. That's all of my dogs because somebody's coming in the house.
Hey, man, that's a good dog then.
Basically, we need to, if you look at any of the stuff that's going on with them, with any of those articles, any of those things that you see in the media, the one thing that they do, one place that they quote, the one place that they credit all the time is DBO. And there's a pretty decent reason for that. Colleen was a web developer. She has her site. If you type in pit bull at all, her site is the first one that comes up.
Hello?
And I'm